Okay, everybody. So Rebecca Lyons and I were just live, and people were telling us that the screen was freezing up. And so I have closed that live out and I am back. And so hopefully, I'm not frozen up right now. So for those of you who are jumping on, let me know if the screen is frozen up or everything looks normal, because I just ended the other live because people were saying that I was freezing up. So can you guys hear and see me okay now? Looks like everything is back to normal. Okay, let's get Rebecca back in the room and we will get started again. So hang on. There she is. Okay, so they're
Right.
telling me that everything looks normal now. So I think we're good to go. And
Yeah.
what, guys, I'm just going to tell you, I don't know what you heard. And so what Rebecca was doing was she was just basically going over what the Akashic Records are. And so we are, it looks like we're back in business. And so,
Okay.
okay, we'll start all over.
Yeah. So I was just explaining what the Akashic Records are in as simple way as I can. So just let us know if it freezes up or anything.
Yeah.
And yeah. So your energy field. Everything is energy. We're energetic beings having a human experience. So, we have like a physical body and um, we have our auras, we have our energy bodies, we have all of these. We're just like so much more than our physical body. And the Akashic Records is like a record, an energetic record of everything that's ever happened. So your childhood, your past lives, your whole life is kept a record in there. Your experiences, your relationships, your finances, your hopes and dreams, your fears, like everything is kept in there. Um, and the reason that I tap into the Akashic Records is for me to understand myself. Why am I holding myself back in this area? Why do I care what this person thinks of me? Why um, do I feel sad today? Like I ask, it's like you're asking your soul on a deep level, and you're not guessing or going to someone else and being like, hey, what's wrong with me? Like, you're asking yourself these questions, and it's like we have to ask these questions to get the answers. And it's a tool for self exploration, personal development, for letting go of things that are holding you back, for helping you quantum leap forward by understanding your purpose and your passions and your gifts, and then having the confidence and the clarity to pursue what it is that you want to do. It's not for everyone because not everyone cares, not everyone wants to know, but for the people who do, like, it's such an amazing tool for success, abundance, wealth, happiness, health, everything like that, fulfillment, purpose, just living a more intentional, purposeful life than leaving it up to fate.
Exactly. Exactly. And so basically, I am pretty new to the Akashic records, and Rebecca is the expert, and she did a reading for me just a few weeks ago, and I can tell you what my biggest takeaway was from that, and we're going
Yes.
to get into some of the details from my reading, because I mean, if you're here live and you follow me, you know that I'm an open book, and I just tell it the way it is. And so,
Me, love that
you
about
know,
you.
but so everything about manifestation is it's energy. Everything is energy, and so wherever we stand energetically, if that's low or high, then that energy is as transparent as a piece of cellophane, because it manifests into our physical reality. And so our physical reality is a direct reflection of how we feel and what's in here and what we think about and what we talk about the most. And our socialization really, and I'm not saying that this is everybody, but me and most of the people that I work with, our socialization really teaches us to believe things that are disempowering.
Oh,
And we are really brainwashed before we even know what's happening. And we are brainwashed into thinking we have to conform and that we can't do certain things. And
yep.
so those burning desires that we have and those intuitive nudges that we have, we tend to bury those because our ego comes in and says, well, you can't do that. You can't make money doing that. You forget it. That's not for you. Things are never going to be that great. And so if you believe those external sources and you never look internally, then you are going to waste a lot of your gifts and your talents. And they start showing up very, very early on in life. And so if we don't get to know ourselves on a deep level, then we're going to be doing things that we don't want to do, and we're not going to be living our life purpose, where it's going to pass us by. And that's going
Yeah.
to lead to a very unfulfilling life. And when we're unfulfilled and we don't feel well and we're doing things day in and day out that we don't want to do, that is the consistency of those negative emotions is what manifests into things that we don't freaking want.
Yeah.
Health issues, toxic people, financial issues, all of those things that rob us
Mm-hmm.
of happiness. And so with an Akashic Records reading, you find out things about yourself that helps you to connect the dots.
Mm. Yes,
Yeah.
that's such a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's no matter how much confidence you have anyway, we still lack so much belief in ourselves, because for most people, most of our lives, we've been told, you can't have this, you can't do that, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And that's just like bombarded into our system. And then you watch the news and it's scary, like it's so depressing and it's scary and it's sad, and it's just like there's all these things that are against us. Like there's so many, like honestly, walking the path of pursuing your purpose, your passions, and actually like finding out who you are, who you want to be, and going after that it can be lonely because there's not that many people who are doing it. It can be scary because there's all these like unreal fears, these like fake fears that we think are there that actually aren't. So it's like we're battling against these these things that aren't even real. And no one, that like there's not really, people aren't really supporting you that much. So it's like it's actually crazy to walk this path.
It doesn't
But
make any sense.
yeah, and you go against everything that you've been taught, and then you go through that stage where you're really angry, where you're angry because you know that like so many people have been fooled, like walking mummies, where like these blindfolds have been put over us, and it's so and it's like we're made to believe that we're crazy when we find out the truth. And
Right.
I could just talk about this forever, but
Oh, yeah.
it's so fascinating. And like when you tap into your records, it's almost unbelievable to know the potential that you have, where you've been, what you can do, why certain things happened the way that they happened. But like once you tap into that and you start, it's almost like once you start like believing that like you can do things, like things just start happening. And it's
Yeah.
really not as hard as you think it will be. It's hard in a way of like having the confidence, pushing yourself, like getting up and doing it when no one's like telling you, like we went to school, we're told to be here at this time, this is this lesson, this is lunchtime, this is when you can leave, this is what you have to do. And then when you're on your own, you have to self motivate. You have to have some sense of belief in yourself. That is scary.
Yes.
But actually once you start doing it, you get in the role,
Mm-hmm.
and things start changing, and then you're just like, nah, I'm not going back
I
there.
was going to say, there's no going back.
There is no going back.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you couldn't go back even if you wanted to. Like, it's like, you know, when you've seen something, it can't be unseen. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
once the veil has been lifted, and then you're like, whoa, oh my God, everything is
Yeah.
not how I was told it was. And then you just like go on this whole journey of like just self-discovery, and that's what it is. It's a self-discovery tool, because you
Mm-hmm.
get to know who you are without all of the masks that we've put on, all of the other people's beliefs that we've taken on, and like truths that we've been told. And then you're like, well, what is real, what isn't real, who the fuck am I?
Right.
Like, it's like that.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And we have got quite a few people that are asking how they can get a reading. So do you want to just go
Yes.
and give them the lowdown on that?
Yeah, so how they have a reading, or what was the
How can
question? So
how can they get a reading?
yeah, so I do readings. I definitely not prepared in a way of, I had a whole thing that was going to be happening, and it's all been postponed. So if somebody wants a reading, definitely just, I would say, probably direct message me, and I will send you the link. But yeah, that's how I read people's records. I use a pathway prayer and the person's name to connect to their records and extract information, for you to understand why you are the way you are, why you lack confidence, why you're attracting certain people in, how to stop doing that, how to live more in your purpose. Very much what I like to focus on is life purpose and life direction. So yeah, just send me a DM, or send Paula a DM. I definitely, yeah, it's the yeah, it's there's just been some changes that have happened in my world, so I'm not as prepared as I should have been.
Well, that's okay. All they have to do is message you and set the reading up, and I can tell you that if it's something that you are nervous about, and I think that it is really human to be nervous about something like that, because we do find out things that are startling, and sometimes it can be a little scary to find those things out. And I'm going to share some details from my reading with you during our live session here. But I promise that Rebecca makes it very comfortable and casual, and there's no reason at all to be nervous, because within 5 minutes, you're going to feel like that you're just right at home talking to your best friend on the phone or something.
Yeah,
And,
it's so special. I don't
yeah,
I don't know. I feel
it's
like,
fun.
it's, you know, like, I feel like I'm like, I want to take that, but it's not completely me, you know. It's like, it's the records, but
Right.
I don't know, it's hard to like, I'm like, yeah, obviously, um there's like so many times when I've like really tried to understand, like, but why when I say this prayer do I see things, why when I say this prayer does the whole world melt away, and like they just won't tell me. Like, when I say I'm asking them, I'm asking the Akashic Records, which is like your higher self, your masters, your teachers, your loved ones who've passed over. Mediumship comes through in there, your ancestors, God in the form, not a religious form, in the form of like the highest form of, you know, like source energy, the universe. But like, it's just so special, and everyone feels like that. Everyone who has a reading, like, I'm just like, hey, and then it's just like, it just like, I don't know, it's just like it just gels,
Mm-hmm.
and people just feel so comfortable to share, and it's like a relief, a weight off your shoulders
It
to have
is.
that
I
kind of
agree.
conversation with someone, right? Because even if you're married, even if you have very good friends or siblings or whatever, these kind of conversations, not everyone is able to like meet you where you want to be met.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go in this, like, these are deep, like, it's deep stuff, and it's not deep in the way as it could be scary or like, oh my god, it's crazy, but it's deep in the way of like, if you want to get to know yourself and you want to know what your energy wants to tell you, like, this is the place to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, you're just like, oh, wow. Like, you feel how deep it goes, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the information that was revealed to me, now I've only had one reading, and it was a few weeks ago. And I plan to do another one. What did you recommend? Like once every 3 months or something?
No, so with the records, it totally depends on who you are. Like, you can have weekly. There are people I work with in an intensive way who would have weekly readings, because we're going into so many different areas, and it's like, so with like tarot, you don't want to go and ask the same questions and then be pulling cards, because it can be confusing. You need some time to like change things. But with the records, it's like energy healing, energy clearing, past
Mm-hmm.
lives, future potentials, understanding certain relationships. Like, there's so much that you can go into that. With certain people, I'll work with them on an intensive for like 8 weekly sessions. But what tends to happen is they want to learn how to read the records themselves. So it will be like a mentorship training. So they'll receive readings, but then they'll also learn how to access their own records. Because I just love like being on the session with the person the first time they go into their own records, and then
Mm-hmm.
they're just like, they just can't believe it. And I'm like, I know, right? Like, this is how it is for me. I'm like, we get to do this together now.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And during in my reading, we focused on career because
Yeah.
I'm in a, I mean, I've been in a pretty big, career transition over the past year because
Yeah.
I resigned from my, long, fruitful career in fundraising to pursue a non-traditional pathway to success, and that is being a self-help author, whose work is rooted in spirituality and the law of
Yeah.
attraction. And I am a real live human being
Yeah.
who used the law of attraction to revamp my entire existence. I mean, I
Hmm.
call my transition going from havoc to happiness because that is exactly what I did. But there is something that some people didn't tell me when I first started this journey, 16 years ago, or 16 years ago or so, something like that. Was Paula, your energy is so freaking low, and you have so much trauma and harbored resentment and fear
Mm.
and anger that you better be careful with this manifestation stuff because you're not ready.
Yeah.
And so it took me a bit to get the memo on that. And when I got the memo that I needed to clean my energy up and level up and release the trauma and heal and practice forgiveness, then that's when I really started exploring personal development tools. And I wish I would have stumbled across the Akashic Records a long time ago.
Oh my, Paula, when people come to me and they've just had their spiritual awakening, I'm like, you have come to the Akashic Records this early. I'm like, you need to be counting your blessings because for
Yes.
me, it was like 5 years. For you, 16 years. For other people, like 10 years. It's like, it's so different for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But when people come and they're like, I just had my spirit, and I'm like, well, aren't you lucky?
Right. If I
You
would
did
have been
something good in it. You did something good to get here so quick.
right, exactly. Like if I would have been armed with this information a long time ago, then I feel like I would have been doing the work that I'm doing right now a lot sooner
Yeah.
because it would have helped me get ready.
Yeah. And the Akashic Records is all about going within. So it's like, who am I? What's holding me back? How do I feel about myself? What really should I be focusing on? Because we're so distracted, and we're so, like, so many people are in a career because their parents wanted them to do that, or
Right.
they are doing something for their family, or they're doing something, they're just doing something and it's not really what they want to be doing. I think most people know deep down if that's where they're at, but they don't quite know how or what to do about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the Akashic Records are. It's like a mirror into yourself. It's asking the questions and finding out, like, all right, well, why is this holding me back? What do I do about this? People who want to connect with relatives who've passed over, like that's something that you can do in the Akashic Records. And the other thing I want to add is that it's such a high vibrational way of using psychic abilities, that because it's only love and truth, you're only connecting to love and truth. You're not connecting to any lower vibration. So it's like an energetic upgrade. And like when you have a reading, like it doesn't just end there. Like you and
Right.
I were discussing this earlier, you said these things, these aha moments and everything will come through. It's like doors will open for you because you're saying, okay, I choose myself. I want to know my higher self. I want to embody my higher self more. I want to connect to these non-physical beings, and I want to live my best life.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're not messing around when you work with the Akashic Records. You're not like, oh, might dip my toe into this, or I might like, sample this. Like this is real, like this isn't like messing around. This is, if you want the answers, are
Mm-hmm.
you ready for the answers? Like, are you ready?
Right.
Are you going to do anything about it? Like it's a whole package, it's a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. And you gave me direct guidance, in my reading, and it resonated so much, and basically reiterated what my intuition was saying anyway. It just
Yeah.
helped kind of make sense of those messages that I've been getting for a long time. And for those of you who have just joined, I'm here with Rebecca Lyons, and she is an Akashic Records expert, reader, teacher, and mentor. And a lot of you guys are asking how you can get in touch with her. Give her a follow and direct message her if you're interested in a reading. So today, I'm not sure if Rebecca is going to do a collective
Oh,
reading.
I can do one.
Want
Yeah,
to do one? Okay.
absolutely.
All right.
Yeah,
Do it. Let's
of course.
do it.
Yeah. Okay. So, so just to explain to everyone, when I read for people, I'll open their Akashic Records. So when I read for Paula, I opened her Akashic Records, and that's how I will channel her. Sorry, that's how I will channel her. Her energy, Paula's energy field. That's how I'm channeling. But what I discovered through doing this for so long in so many different environments, in so many different ways, because I like to play around with my psychic abilities. I can see things, feel things, know things. I'm pretty tapped in, but I only do it with my Akashic Records open because, like I said, it's a very high vibrational way of doing it. I didn't always do it like that, but that's how I do it now. And I don't ever abuse my abilities. I only use these abilities when someone wants me to, someone's asked me to, or I'm doing it for myself. So yeah, when I have my records open, they'll just I'm literally just channeling my records right now because I'm like, okay, cool. Like it's so funny. I'll be saying things and I'm like, okay, cool. Like I'm listening as my voice is just funny.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So, I discovered that when I open my own Akashic Records, I'm able to channel from my Akashic Records. And it's not that if Paula said to me, hey, tell me about this about myself, I might not be able to get as deep because I'm in my Akashic Records and I don't have hers open. But what I can do is I can channel like collectively when I have my Akashic Records open. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I love doing this because so Paula and I were just on Instagram and we were talking there, and I was saying how when I'm talking, I don't know what I'm going to say next. I'm literally just like, it's like I'm a tap and you turn the water on and I'm channeling information, and as I'm saying it, I'm then aware of it because I'm not pre-planning what I'm saying. It's literally channeling like on the moment. So, okay. There's, yeah, I feel like for the people who are listening, watching, listening, there's like this nervous, excited energy of wanting to like do it right, you know, like wanting to, all right, well, if I'm almost this perfectionist energy of like, oh, if I'm going to do it, I've got to do it right. Very judgmental. Like, so if anyone's listening, watching, maybe, sorry about that. That was my battery on my phone. So for anyone who's watching and listening, maybe this resonates. I know this resonates with me as I'm saying this. Stop judging everything you're doing on whether it's good or bad, on whether it's going to take you further or not. It's like, make a decision. And this has been coming up for me a lot recently, like just in the way of like, you know, like when you receive messages like through music or listening to podcasts or watching things, and you keep getting the same messages and you're like, okay, I'm getting the message. It's not about like doing it right or wrong. Like, stop thinking, okay, if I do this, then stop thinking too far ahead in the future. It's like, how does it feel right now? What do you want to do? What decision do you want to make? Don't get too in your head. Don't be too logical with when you're making a decision, because if you're too logical, then that is not really the energy of being in the present moment. So you are literally either going into the past and thinking, when I did this in the past, this worked out well, or it didn't work out so well, so I'm going to make my decision based on that. Or you're thinking into the future and thinking, if I make this decision, does that mean that this is going to happen? So I'm just getting this, like, the records are just like, no, stop doing that. It will actually like calm your nervous system if you just take a moment and breathe and just allow yourself to feel into a decision that you want to make, and don't think about what's this person going to think, what's that person going to say, because that's just living your life really externally, caring like, oh my gosh, is this person going to be upset with me? Is this person going to think I'm bad, or like whatever it is. Like, at the end of the day, something really cool that got, so this theory was showed to me in the Akashic Records, with a student of mine when she was learning how to open the records. And the theory is that so many of the things and the people that are in our lives like aren't real. I'm gonna try and put it into words. Okay, try and help me put this into words. So like, we get caught up on so many things because, you know, like, we're in the age of technology now. There's so much noise, there's so much information, and there's so many distractions. And it's like our brains are working overtime. We're like like trying to like think about like what's going to happen here, how am I going to do that? And they're just like, just cut it, just cut that. Don't even, it's oh my god, there's so much information coming through right now. Like, you know, like, like when you want to change a habit, and if you think about the habit that you want to change, and you're like, I don't want to eat chocolate, I don't want to eat chocolate, I don't want to eat chocolate, then you eat chocolate because you're constantly thinking about the thing that you don't want, right? So like, when we're focusing on what's this person going to think of me, what are they going to think, how are they going to feel about this, that's what you're attracting. You're attracting their attention. Whereas if you, Paula and I were just talking about narcissists, if you try and stop thinking about all of those things, and you really take note of your thoughts, which is, it can be overwhelming, because when you go through the stages of having no awareness to having awareness, it's like, whoa, like, oh my god, you're so aware of everything you're doing. And this is the point, because then you're like, is this good? Is this bad? Is this good? Is this bad? And they're like, you've got to make decisions based on your heart, rather than calculated, logical, premeditated decisions, basically. So really take note of your thoughts and really try and it's really about who you are. And if you're someone who's like, oh man, I really don't have any confidence and I really want confidence, it's not about thinking I want confidence. It's about, okay, look, I'm just gonna have to like make some decisions that I think a confident person would make, and you just get the ball rolling. Just get the ball rolling, you know? It's really like it's like stepping into a lane, stepping into a timeline where it's like you take the first couple of steps, which are a little bit scary or sometimes really scary, and can use a lot of energy and everything like that. But once you get into it, it's almost like you get suctioned in, and then it's just so much easier. Mm-hmm. It's so much easier, and it's just don't believe everything that you see, everything that you read, everything that you hear. Really try and make this protective bubble for yourself. Like try and really focus on you and what you want and who you want to be in the world, how you want to show up, what you want to receive. And when you catch yourself thinking about things like, what is that person doing? What do they think of me? Why hasn't that person got in touch with me? That's okay. Like you're a sensitive person, you know, like you're a sensitive soul. And again, have compassion for yourself, but bring it back in to be like, all right, well, what do I want to do today? How do I want to feel today? Because a lot of people who are watching this are constantly thinking about other people and how other people are, and they need to bring that focus and attention back into themselves. Yeah. How's that?
Well, all of that hits home with me. I mean, everybody is
What
saying
is
this.
people saying? Oh my God, this is
In
crazy.
Mm-hmm. Someone said that this is the
Oh
third
no,
time.
I'm not booked all of January. Don't worry. I have space. It's just my calendar. My calendar's messed up. Yeah, okay, sorry, I was just reading people's messages. Yeah. Me as well. Just 3 words on it. Peace, love, harmony keeps them. Yes, and I went for a walk this morning, and I have a lake where I live, and I walked down to the lake, and I kept getting the words peace, calm, and comfort, but in an internal way, because I don't think that we should stay in our comfort zone. Absolutely not. I think we have to do things that push ourselves outside of our comfort zone all the time. But like when you focus on having comfort within yourself, like you treat yourself nicely, you listen to yourself, you prioritize how you feel, and you take a break if you need to, and all of those things, like you have this comfort within yourself, then you can do more things that are uncomfortable, because you know that you have this bond with yourself, and you have this like special connection and this peace in your nervous system, and this inner knowing of like, okay, well, if things get rocky, because we there's a lot, there's a lot of things we don't have control over, and that's why we try and take control of so many things that we can control, like food, relationships, personal development, all those kind of things. But yeah, it's yeah, that's kind of the stuff that's coming through. Hopefully that makes sense. I always say hopefully that makes sense because I'm channeling. Wow, words cannot express how I needed to hear this. Oh, I'm so glad you heard it. Like, I honestly, I love channeling. Like, I love sharing from the records. They're always so high vibrational and so relevant and so just comforting. And even though they do like to like kind of call you out, they're like, hey, you're not doing this and you should be. They do it in like a nice way. Mm-hmm. They're like, I understand why you're not doing it, but now you should.
Right. So are you at a stopping point with the reading? Okay, so I just want to share something with you guys. So in my reading, and I keep thinking about this because And it goes back to what I said earlier about how our gifts and our talents and those burning desires start to show up at a very early age. And so I can remember as far back as 8 and 9 years old, I was really into astrology. And astrology was not taught to me or even accepted in where I grew up, because I grew up in a deeply conservative part of the state of Kentucky, and it's poverty pockets and everything that goes along with growing up in an environment like that. You get a poverty invaded mindset, and it's black or white. You're not supposed to do this, you got to do this. And going by a horoscope was not the norm, and it was frowned upon. And my parents didn't even want me digging into astrology, but I just had a curiosity about astrology. And I remember being in like the third grade, and I'd be asking my friends what their astrological signs were. And I had this big book. I got this big book somewhere, and
Yeah.
it had an overview, of all of the signs. And every time I would meet somebody, I'd, throw that book open, and I'd start looking into them. I was like the third grade here,
I love that.
that shit. And so
Yeah.
in my reading, and to understand where that came from, and in my reading, so a past life popped up. And through Rebecca, I learned that we have an Akashic Records reading that, like I was focused on career. And so a relevant past life popped up. And so only the relevant past life will pop up in your
Yep.
reading. And so this past life popped up, and I was an astrologer in this past life.
In ancient Egypt.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that little tidbit of information caused me to realize why I had, for no apparent reason, an interest in astrology at such a young age, when nobody around me had any belief in astrology. I was a lone soldier
It makes me smile like so much, because every time that it's like, it's so out there, like this kind of stuff, like what we do. And like, even for me, even though I do this all the time, even getting the feedback of all of these different stories, it just blows my mind every time. I'm just like, what? Because it's so special, and it's so unique, and it's so like magical, and I just love it. And it gives me so much hope, because I'm like, yes, it is real. And yes, like, and I still, like, even though I do this all the time, because like most of my reality, I mean, I choose not to focus on a lot of it now, but like most of like the outside world and the people I come into contact with, who aren't necessarily like people who are in this space, right? It's it's just not believed. It's just really not believed. And then I think for me, then I can be like, my ego's like, is it real? Are you sure? And then I'm just like, put another one in the bank, put another one in the bank, another like story, another confirmation, another like person's like genuine like story. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. It's so, and it just blows my mind how our minds play tricks on us like that too.
Oh, I know. And it's finding out this type of information, even though that mainstream society does not consider it like a traditional pathway to finding out information about ourselves. Finding out this information, in my opinion, can either make or break you in
Yeah.
terms of you end up actually living your life purpose.
100%. This is the fastest, most genuine way of like finding out who you are, like doing this kind of work, doing
Mhm.
soul discovery work, and actually choosing to break away from doing what people tell you to do, and going with your intuition and doing stuff like that. Like, that's, in my opinion, that's like the only way that you can get true fulfillment and freedom in your life.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah.
Because, our socialization, and God, I talk about this all the time because our socialization leads us to believe that we can't do certain things. And so before our brains are even fully developed, we've already got all these subconscious belief systems that are controlling our behaviors. And the longer that we hold on to those lies, basically, then the longer that we don't really do ourselves any justice. And so, going deep within with a reading, in my opinion, is way empowering. But the
Yeah.
traditional pathways are
Yeah.
disempowering. How dare someone look at you who, let's just say, you are the greatest artist in the world and you a masterpiece. How dare somebody that doesn't have that talent look at you and say, you can't make money doing that?
Yeah.
It just pisses me off.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, come on, people. I mean, we're
Yeah.
we're all destined to do different things, and the conforming leads to a very unfulfilled life, because if
Yeah.
you conform and you're not happy in what you're doing, then day to day you are kind of wallowing in those really low energy negative emotions like anger, resentment, fear, worry. Day in, day out, that's what you're feeling. And then the
Yeah.
next thing you've manifested a life that's not worth living, and you don't even realize what's happening to you. And
Yeah.
you go to victim mode.
Victim mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And so
feel like, I
our
don't know
work
if,
is so tied in together. It's like one
yeah.
leads to the other. It's just empowerment on
Yeah.
every level.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then it's like, how dare you empower people? Who do you think you are?
right.
You're like, oh, sorry. But I was just gonna say, I wonder if this resonates with you, because I feel like almost every day I'm constantly thinking, like, am I pursuing what it is that I'm here to do? Am I pursuing what I'm here to do? And I know when I'm not, and I know when I am.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, maybe you guys who are watching, does that resonate with you? Do you feel that, like, on a daily or like a weekly basis? Are you questioning, like, am I pursuing my purpose? Am I am I doing, not kind of necessarily, like, not necessarily do it's, I think everyone knows that there's something special about them,
Mm-hmm.
and there is like a path, like there's multiple paths, don't get me wrong, there's not just one path, but like there's we tell ourselves, our ego tells ourselves there's one path, but there's multiple paths. And it's like, we we numb, we use alcohol, drugs, social media, Netflix, all kinds of shopping, all kinds of different things. We use all these different things to numb and distract ourselves. But really, like, I just feel like deep down everyone knows that there's something, but then we get scared of what it is, because we're like, well, what if it's too late? What if, I'm telling you, I was 27 and I thought it was too late for me. I was 27.
Oh,
Like,
I lived to be
that
30.
was my belief. I didn't go to university. I thought that I was worthless because I didn't go to university. I thought, how am I going to start my own business? I didn't go to university. I need business training. I need this. I need that. I need this. I need that. And I didn't need any of those things. I've created a very successful, independent, unique business for myself, pursuing, doing what I love. And I'm not the only person who can do that. You're doing that. And we both had a different life, and now we've changed it. But I think that just everyone deep down has this, like, inner knowing. And that's why I think we beat ourselves up and we're harsh to ourselves. We're like, oh no, I watched too much Netflix. Oh no, I did this, I did that. I think we have a moral compass inside of ourselves, but it's whether we act on it, whether we pursue the path less walked,
Right.
and actually do something about it, because it's scary sometimes doing something about it.
It absolutely is. And someone was just saying
Yeah, let's see what people
They
said.
they get it, but you know, they keep getting held back and don't know why. And there was a time in my life that I felt the exact same way, but I thought that it was external factors holding me back when really it was me. And it was,
Yeah.
you know, I was just a product of my socialization, and I just wasn't very self-aware. I didn't have a lot of control over my emotions. And spiritual tools is what really took me to another level. It's like Rebecca, you said earlier, an energetic upgrade.
Yeah,
And it's
I
been,
like that.
yeah, I love that. And it has been like a smorgasbord of spiritual tools that I have used to get me there and figure those things out. And there's always something in our belief systems that's holding us back. Always. I don't care
Yeah, and
who you are. You've got some trauma
yeah.
somewhere. And when
Do
you
you find you get imposter syndrome?
yes.
I remember the first time I got imposter syndrome, like because I was up leveling, and I was feeling good. I was I was sticking to I was I was putting myself out there. I was doing what I was saying I was going to do for myself, creating things and showing up. And then I got to a point where I hit a glass ceiling and I was like terrified, and I was like, what is this? And then
Mm-hmm.
I opened my Akashic Records one day and it was like, it's imposter syndrome. You're afraid of how good this is going to get. And I was like, oh my God. I remember and I get it all the time now. I remember the first time I had that, it was such a weird sensation, because I thought like, and like when you go on this journey, you can get a bit cocky sometimes. I was like, yeah, I'm healing all of this stuff and I'm really confident and I know what I'm
Oh yeah.
doing. And then it's like, bam. And you're like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Been through all of that too. I mean, every bit of it. And it's all part of the journey. And then all of the stuff, and it's the consistency that gets you there. And
Yeah.
so you consistently practice all of this stuff, on a day-to-day basis, then all of a sudden one day you find that high energetic vibration, it's suddenly resilient and sustainable against whatever happens. And with me, when that doubt creeps in or that imposter syndrome creeps in, because I've done all this inner work, I can interrupt it. I recognize it, and I can
Yeah.
interrupt it. And that is such a huge key, to manifesting what you want.
Yeah.
What you find out in your Akashic Records reading, if you use that information and you process it and you think about it and apply it to your daily life, and you really think back to your past and the things that's happened, it will empower you like no other.
Yeah. It's like rocket fuel. It keeps you going and it helps you believe in yourself. It helps you believe that it's real. It helps you trust. It helps in the unknown, because you're walking a path that is unknown. Because even though you have a desire, you have a vision, you have a dream, you
Mm-hmm.
haven't necessarily yet got it, and you have to keep going before
Right.
it's there. And that is sort of like some of the magic. I think a lot of people, that's what they're looking for. I know that's what I was looking for. I was like, I need some clarity. I need some confirmation. I need something, just something to keep me going.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it can be. It really can keep you going. It can give you that that right, low battery. It can give you that
It's almost like inspiration.
yeah,
I mean,
inspiration.
it
Exactly.
builds,
Also, that last bit.
it builds momentum.
Yes.
With me, with what you told me in my reading, because I said to you, I said there's something I feel like that's about to happen. I almost feel like that something's holding me back. I don't feel confident talking about this new career path around certain people.
Yeah.
We went over that whole thing,
Yeah.
and then we find out that I had been blackballed in my past life from trying to speak my truth and
Yeah. Trying to help
I,
people.
right. And so it was so severe in the past life that, they wanted to kill me.
Yeah.
And so that, of course, is going to scare a person to death.
Yeah.
And so I have carried that over, clearly.
And you've had those like narcissists again, those like the reflections have appeared again, right?
Yes, it's like a pattern.
Yeah.
It's like a pattern of people.
Yeah.
But in this day and time, a narcissistic personality can't find me. It's
You're
like,
safe in this life, whereas
yeah,
you weren't in the other one.
right. And those, the topic of narcissists came up in our, Instagram live earlier. And because that I have had hands-on experience, with a real life narcissistic personality, I know the kind of damage that they can do to you if you let them. If you let them, and
Yeah.
now that I'm armed with all this information and I've leveled up energetically, well, if I come in contact with a narcissist, which is going to be pretty unlikely in this day and time because I'm not an energetic match anymore for those people. I used to be. I'm not
Mm.
anymore. And so knowing that I dealt with that in a past life, and all this may sound crazy, even helps me forgive that narcissist even more,
Yeah.
if that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because you see it from a higher perspective.
Right.
You see like why they're like that,
Mm-hmm.
where that comes from, and then you understand in a way of not a victim way, in a way of an awareness, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Which is wild.
It is. And it also builds momentum around my daily meditation practices. Because let's just face it, I mean, I don't always want to do that. I mean, you don't always, want to live such a, I'm on a, my lifestyle is, I have a lot of discipline, a lot of self discipline. And I don't always want to sit down and meditate,
Yeah.
for the most part I do, but, not always. But
Yeah.
when I get information like I did from the reading, it motivates me. It builds momentum around my spiritual practices because it's just more evidential proof of how effective they are. And if you're willing to walk the walk and talk the talk, you've got the power to absolutely create any kind of life you want. But it's not going to be that easy if you don't do, I mean, really do some preliminary before you start to dig too deep into manifestation. And I said this earlier, and the Akashic Records reading with Rebecca has been one of the best investments that I ever made in myself. And I think that we spent a couple of hours together and it felt more like 30 minutes or less.
Yeah.
It just, whew, it
It
was like,
always feels like that. It goes so
ah,
fast
oh,
because you're so present, so present.
mm-hmm. And I absolutely loved it. And we are running a little past time here. So I just want
Yeah.
real quick, because I get carried away and
We
get
could talk. We could talk forever. I know we could.
like thing I told be 4 o'clock. And so on Friday, January the 6th, Rebecca and I are doing a workshop and it's going to take place on Zoom. And
Yeah.
so I have a 30-day manifestation challenge and people from all over the world are doing it. And if you're curious about it, just there's tons of links in my link tree on my TikTok page. You can just go there, get all the information that you want about the challenge. And so if you're a part of that group, which is a very special group, by the way,
Very special. I love it.
very, yeah, it's like the best, safe, non-judgmental space. There's no,
Yeah.
it's like all like-minded people on a spiritual journey, just doing this to find their way, and we're
Yeah.
all open and honest with each other, and we share a lot of resources, and so there's a lot of benefit to being in the challenge. But
Yeah.
if you're interested, check out the information in my link tree. And so if you're already in the challenge, then this workshop is totally free to you because when you join my challenge, then you get access to any workshop or any kind of virtual event or whatever I do. that's relevant to the challenge, and so you don't pay any additional fees. And so, but if you're not in the challenge and you're not ready to, take to join doing something like that just yet, we're going to open up the workshop to everybody, and the
Yep.
registration fee is only $5,
Woo!
and have the registration link ready by tomorrow afternoon. I'm waiting on my HubSpot representative to get back from Christmas vacation, and so he's going to get that link up on my website probably later in the day tomorrow, and so you can hop on and join. And of course, I'm going to, promote it and put the link everywhere so it's easy to find. But in our workshop on Friday, we'll go just a little bit more in depth than what we have here
Yeah.
today. And Rebecca is going to do a collective reading
Yeah.
in our workshop. Now, if you can't join us live, that's okay. If you're in the Manifestation Challenge group, then that video will be archived in our group. If you're not and you register, then I will get the recording to you when the workshop is over. And that way you can watch it at your own convenience. You won't be able to, be part of the collective reading, but I guarantee you're still going to learn a significant amount of.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's the perfect time with the new year. It's like it's such a the Akashic Records are such a high vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And all they care about is you living your most happiest, fulfilled life, pretty much. So definitely come along. It's gonna be very, very nurturing, soul nourishing. It's just gonna be like just nice, just a nice experience, something true self-care, something that you can do for yourself. It's $5, like come on. But I do recommend that you join Paula's challenge, because it's such an incredible group and there's going to be so much more stuff that's going to happen in there. But yeah, I don't think you don't want to miss it. It's going to be really fun.
Yes, and if you don't join the challenge, you just sign up for the workshop. You spend $5. Hey, I mean, it's going to be the best $5 you ever
Yeah,
spent.
I wanted to say that it's going to be
Yeah.
the best $5 you ever spent, and it's a different energy on Zoom. So when is the class? So the class is January 6th, this Friday at 12 noon Eastern time. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, 5 p.m. For me. I'm in the UK, GMT, General Greenwich Mean Time. And it's going to be on Zoom, and it's like there's just a different energy on Zoom. So it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. I'm really excited. And if anyone would like to book a reading, then just send me a direct message. And definitely head over to my Instagram, because I have so many testimonials on there. I don't even have all of my testimonials on there, but I have so many testimonials, so you can see people's like real thoughts, feelings of having a reading and how they felt and what they experienced, so that you can get a feel for it yourself if it's something that you want to do. Do you have Facebook? Yes, I do have Facebook. My Facebook is Rebecca Anne Marie Lyons. So send me a DM and I'll send you my Facebook.
All right. So, Rebecca, do you have anything else that you want to say, or
I
before we
just think like, yeah, just don't be
close?
too hard on yourself to everyone.
I think everybody needs to hear that.
Yeah, don't be so hard on yourself. Like try living a life where you don't constantly punish yourself, like with your thoughts and your feelings and your words. Like just try and ease up on yourself. Like imagine how much more peace you would have in your life. You
Mm-hmm.
don't need to beat yourself up all the time. Like you really don't. Paula's challenge is fantastic. Yes.
Thank you, Neely. So the way I'll tell you this really quick, and then I hope that Rebecca and I can see all of you guys on
Yeah.
Friday, and I will have that registration link up, like I said, by late tomorrow afternoon. I'll keep everybody posted. I'm really good at communicating with everybody. But if you join the 30-day manifestation challenge between now and January the 8th, I've got a discount code that you can use at registration. challenge is only $37 anyway.
Yeah.
So you get your 30
You're
days.
too kind.
Yeah. And I've got a $5 off coupon code that you can use
Oh,
to take it down to $32. So you get lifetime access.
yeah. Guys, sign up.
This is up. It's like the ride's not over. You could get.
You know what? One other thing I want to say is that you need to surround yourself with people who are having these kind of conversations, even if you don't fully understand it, even if you're like, oh my gosh, like, I kind of feel like I understand what they're saying. Like, it will become clearer. And like, honestly, just it's so important to surround yourself with people who are like having open, honest, authentic conversations, talking about how they feel, how they've changed. Like, we need to hear people's transformation stories so we believe that we can do it ourselves. And like, I might touch a bit on that on Friday, because I'm telling you, my transformation story is crazy, and so is yours. And like, if we can do it, then so can you. Like, is that saying, like, anyone can do this.
That is the truth. And I say in my book, you don't have to be Mother Teresa to create miracles.
No.
You don't. You just need to figure out who you are and make that energetic upgrade. And there are so many ways that you can do that. And using your spiritual tools is a surefire strategy to get you there. Yeah. And
100%.
So that closing statement's like the best advice that
Yeah.
give to anybody. And yeah. And so I can't forget the coupon code to register for the challenge is manifest, the word manifest in all caps, and the number 5. Now you're going to see that information in my videos and in my link tree as well. And so it's easy, very, very easy to find. And Rebecca is easy to find too. And so if you're not following her now, I highly recommend doing that. And again, if you want an Akashic Records reading with her, send her a direct message in case you hear her say that a bit ago.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, DM me. And yeah, I read for people, I teach people, I mentor people. So, just get in touch. I do free discovery calls to find out what's the best way that I can help you. So yeah, just get in touch. I love helping people. Like, doing this with you is just like so special, and I love it. And it just lifts my spirit. And I was in a funk earlier, and now I feel amazing. And like, this is why I do this stuff, and I love it.
Oh my goodness, I do too. I live and breathe it, and it's fabulous. And so we'll close out on that note. And I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah. And so I'll be seeing you guys before Friday, and I'll get that registration link up. And I hope that Rebecca and I can work with you again.
Yeah.
And, hey, everybody have a great day.
Have a good day. Thank you, Paula. Thank you, everyone. Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.
Bye.